Hello everyone, welcome to our favorite cooking channel, which is Cooking with Abba. Today we're going to look at something special and exquisite. We're going to be doing some Agushie stew with Bankye Ampesi, cooked cassava, and then I'm going to start with a bit of pear. So this is Agushie fry or Agushie stew, or Nigerians would say Agushie soup. Yes, so this is from Agushie. If you want to see the English name of Agushie, check the description button down there. And of course, I use pepper, which was from straight from the farm's glove veg. And I've got some onion, I've got tomatoes, and I'm just going to blend these together with my spices and my turkey berry. So for my turkey berry, what I did was, because I'm going to use it fresh to blend, I just soaked it a little bit with some hot water just to soften it up and make it easy to blend. And for the spices, you find it in my description button together with some garlic. I blended it all up into this beautiful mixture here. And I had some chopped onions just to start up with it. And for my proteins, I have some Wele, I've got some Kako, I've got some smoked fish, a bit of seafood. So I have the octopus in there as well. And I just have some Prekese or Aidan to also add to the nutritional, fortification. And I've got my Agushie, which is your melon seed with other names down there in the description button. So what I did is that I bought the fresh, then I washed it. These days it's even hard to come by the Agushie which has not been removed. But when we're younger, Agushie used to come in its whole form, so you have to break it to remove the shell before you get this, before you work with it. But these days they usually crush it before they bring it. I don't really recommend you buy the powdered one because these days people adulterate it a lot. People mix things up with it a lot with the greed factor. So it's always good you buy your own fresh stuff and then you work with it. So just wash and just blend and you're good to go. Blend with as little water as possible to get it thick and to avoid it being runny. And I've got some palm oil. So I kickstart with my palm oil, my onion goes in, my Kako goes in. I'm a Kako fan. If you're a Momoni fan, it can go in. If you're a Koobi fan, it can go in. Then I added in my Prekese and then my tomato blend. So you realize I didn't overly heat the oil before everything went in. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be cooking for a long period of time. So once that cooks and then the bubbles simmer down and it's small, that means it's virtually ready. Then I add in my fish and then my seafood. You've got to add this in a bit early before you add Agushie, so that it doesn't feel like when you taste the fish, it's just like you're eating just fish which is smoked. Like, no, it's supposed to balance and marinate beautifully with everything in there. So as those go in, I'm now going to check for the salt if it's okay. If I need to add more salt, I'll just go and do that as well before I go on with Agushie. But because I'm using Kako, and in Ghana, the smoked fish, they are overly salted before they smoke it. So you need to be careful with it. So at this juncture, I'm just going to pour in my Agushie and I'm just going to stir it up and then cover it up. And just put a bit of Kontomire or cocoyam leaves over it just to give it some beautiful look afterwards, and cover and then lower my heat as low as possible and then let it simmer up. So sometimes people may tend to avoid mixing the Agushie before they place it in, but then you see whether it's going to be lumpy or not, it depends on how you blended it. If it is overly watery, it's going to be hard for it to cluster, and then if you don't really put it at the right places in the stew too, it's going to have an issue. So you can still have a lumpy, but then just check your water and check how you stir the stew. You don't need to overly stir it up. And just let it simmer and let it finish cooking. Agushie doesn't take too long to cook. Yes, so once Agushie goes in, within 5 minutes you should be done with it. Yes, so all this go in and you are virtually done. If you're a fan of Wele, everything is also represented here. Yes, so just check up this and then go with the flow. Yes, I forgot. I think I forgot to mention the Wele went in together with the pepper sauce and everything. The tomato puree and everything went in with the Wele. Yes, and once I'm done with that, I'm just going to clean and wash my cassava, which I've already peeled and cut. I just place it on fire, add a lot of salt because I'm doing ampesi, and then let it cook. And once it's done, I serve my Agushie with my ampesi and my pear. Yeah, my avocado pear. And I'm just in heaven. My girls were all laughing because Charlie, I meant this meal so much. So when I got it, I felt like I was in heaven because Charlie, I had been craving for it for so long. So do give this recipe a try. Let me know how it goes and support the channel with your views, with your watch, with your subscription, liking, sharing. Till I see you in the next food video, do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Mwah.